Alright, welcome to Aro-Tarot. I'm Des, and this is my July monthly wrap-up, where I'm going to show off how my tarot journaling went, what decks I got, what I've kind of been up to, and all of that jazz. I know I wanted to have this kind of filmed and posted a little earlier this month, because we're already like a third in, but yeah, I had to get a new router. And then I also had to get my computer, not my laptop. I have a desktop and a laptop. My desktop needed to get fixed because the antenna was not the antenna piece. It's the piece that you put the antenna in was loose, and we are not gonna we're not gonna attempt to try to fix that. So it was still under warranty because I just got it a little over a month ago. So we went and we got that fixed. So I have internet on my main computer. So, and then I was also stressing because when it came to July, basically this month has been Des, you need to sit down and get some writing done. This is my 4th year participating in the After Camlin Big Bang. My first year not doing it as a artist, I was behind on my writing, and looking at the fics, I was like, I'm behind with the writing, and also just with me being behind, and the fics, they didn't sound bad. No fics, sound truly bad. I do have specific things I look for in fics that I know are gonna really inspire me to do art. And I know if it was something where it was, really, where I was like, whoa, absolutely, because this is my cup of tea, then, I probably would have tried doing both. Which probably would have been a really bad idea, so hence why I was like, these sound really good, but I know someone else would have more fun doing art for this, and just would like doing this more than me, and I am behind, so I'm only doing it as a writer this year. And then my partner that's the artist this time is actually my brother. He's also an artist, but and he also likes the same shows as me. Does he like Merlin? Yeah, he likes Merlin. I still have to get him to finish watching the dang show. He's seen me watching it, and he left off in season 4. Gosh darn it, Andrew, it has been years. You need to sit down and finish watching it. But yeah, we've actually never collabed on anything before, so that's why I kind of asked him, because I thought it would be really fun. And because I was so behind, I needed to find an artist if I was going to still do it as a Big Bang collab. And it's like, hey, Andy, do you want to be my artist? We've never done that before, because his whole thing is, he's into the same kind of shows as me, but his art, when it comes to his aesthetic, is very, very different from mine, and he's also not in fandom spaces like I am. So, me, most of my art, fan art. Most of it, kind of just Merlin fan art, because, gosh darn it, Colin Morgan's a beautiful man, and Merlin is my favorite character. So, there's a reason why I was able to be yeah, I'm gonna work for years on a Merlin tarot deck, and it was fine. As I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna make a really nice tarot deck, as not even, I ended up having it and sharing it with other people just because I, thought other people would want to share it, and as I shared the art, people were interested, but it was kind of just a deck for me and my brother. It was I'm gonna make a whole deck for me, and it's gonna take me years. All because Merlin. My hyperfixation. But yeah, so this month I've been kind of just, Des, you need to sit down and you need to finish writing the story. So I got it done on time. I was very stressed too, because I was at the very end too, when I was having the internet issues, because that did start at the very end of July in that last week, and I am just stressing because it's I don't have any internet at my house. Can I write offline mode? Yeah, but I can't, it just, it's less stressful when you have internet, when you're using an internet program, So, I know, Charlie, right? You were like, Des was so stressful. I was stressed. um, but yeah, like, that's one of the things I've been doing. I know I should go back to this. um, but if anything, I guess I started out with Des. What were you up to in July? Getting myself to finish writing a fanfic. That's what I was doing. And now that the fanfic's done, this week was kind of chill. Get back to doing more art. And next week, I'm going to finally start working more on getting our, like, session 1 and stuff, and getting, like, the campaign more ready for, playing some Dungeons and Dragons. It'll be my first time DMing, so wish me luck. And also, I'm the only one in the group that's played. I mean, I've never played D&D. I played Pathfinder, so close enough. Pathfinder is very, very similar to D&D if you've never played Pathfinder. Like, if you played D&D, you kind of get Pathfinder. The rules are just ever so slightly different with how stuff is set up, so yeah. So, I'm the only one that kind of knows what they're doing, and I've never DM'd before, so at least we're gonna have fun, because there's going to be some vampires, and I'm very excited to get to to get to play Strahd. Since we're doing that campaign, my first, I like DMing my first campaign. I'm like, no, I need to actually get one of the store-bought campaigns. I need to have like a book. I can't come up with something, this is my first time. I need something, so Curse of Strahd's what we're gonna be running. I just have to sit down now and start setting it up. Our schedules weren't really lining up with my old job anyway, so now that I'm getting like a new job and stuff, our schedules are gonna be way more aligned, and it'll be so much easier to be able to meet up to actually do sessions. So, yeah, that's my plans for July then. I mean, not July, August. Gosh darn it, brain. Anyway, so for July, obviously with having like Dawn Trail coming out at the beginning of July, I had early access, so I played like the very end of June. So that's why for this picture, not a picture of Merlin. Shocked. I thought it was going to be like that every month. Spoilers, there's a picture of Merlin for the following month, for this month. But I had a picture of my BJD of my Final Fantasy XIV character, Nevia. So that's the picture I chose. I'm now subscribed to Archer and Olive's monthly like subscription kit thing. So that's where like this paper, this washi tape's from. Not the butterfly stickers. The butterfly stickers I get them from a shop on Etsy that I usually get my stickers from. So. But yeah, so now this kind of actually every month is now matching my bullet journal, which is kind of cute. And I like that, so. Yeah, so I had my monthly reading, which I used the, can't remember the exact name, what is it? Mushroom Spirit Oracle. And then this was the Journey Tarot. And then this is where I kind of put my weekly readings. So, kind of had different decks each week. For this last one, I decided to actually use some dice and do some dice with some tarot for a weekly reading. So here is Nevia, who I had journaled about, which very hard to see her. My printer has a tendency to print things too dark, and she has gray skin and dark brown hair. So sometimes I can't print good pictures off of her. But I thought this was decent enough in person, at least. For me, it's my journal. So I journal about her. There is 2 journaling prompts that I had set for myself this month that I didn't get to because I was just, Des, if you're going to do any writing, absolutely all, it needs to be on the story. So I only actually recently did one of the other ones, so that's why. I will come back to you, Dorian, to journal about you. One of the things I like about how I set this up and the intentions for making this book the way it is Des, you can flip back and add things. And there are certain places like, if you didn't see my last one, how I'm doing my, if I get a new deck, kind of journaling about that. There are places specifically for further thoughts. I am meant to come back to the pages. for other prompts each month. I am meant to come back to these ones. So if I miss out on a page, it's okay if I go back to it the following month. I also didn't play as much Dragon Age Inquisition as I thought I was going to. I'm actually kind of tempted now to almost just sit down and replay Origins and kind of save where I left off in Inquisition for my new, like, doing a run before Veilguard comes out. We still have time. So I might maybe sit down and play Origins. I thought I might try getting into streaming games. We shall see. That's kind of the plan. So I might end up streaming it and stuff on like Twitch and stuff, but yeah, I will get to see my warden yet again, because I'll just recreate my canon one, because it'd be a canon world slate run for me, which mine is Braska is what my warden is. So that's the commoner dwarf, where you have no caste, is that the word? It's been a while since I played Origins. So my brain's just not thinking properly, but I do really like my warden. And I really like her Alistair's who I romanced. Alistair's one of my favorite romances in the game. I know Dorian, always a BFF. I really like Dorian a lot. So again, like, this page is just a page I made that I can kind of list off animal decks that I have. Could I go through all my decks and maybe even on my, the place that I use to catalog my decks and just write in all the ones that are animal decks? Yes, but I kind of have this made so as I pull out decks, I'm supposed to go back to this summer page, any other prompts like this, and add them in as kind of just, I don't know, I just thought it'd be fun like that. So the other one I didn't get to besides Dorian was journaling about the King of Pentacles, which I kind of want to do soonish. I haven't done it yet. I journaled about the star over here. Then for the first deck, I could probably just bring out the decks as I get to the pages. Some decks, like the Oracle ones, I don't make pages for. So those ones I'll bring out at the end. But yeah, so one of the decks that I got this month was I got the Botanica Tarot. I don't remember who I was watching, but I saw it in a tarot video. And I was like, I'd never heard of this deck before, but that's completely up my alley. Do I have a lot of floral decks? Yes. Do I end up still getting more? Also yes. But this deck is just, the glare of the light is just right on it. Can I get a little less of that glare? Not really. They're very shiny, so I don't want to have like no light. So if I do it at an angle, there, we don't have the glare. But yeah, these are all plants. Each one's a different plant with a black background. Like I said, they're very glossy. And they have gold gilding on the edges, which are also very shiny. But these are very pretty. The titles aren't on it. Instead, they have, so that's Page of Wands, Four of Pentacles. The majors, let me see if I can find a major. The majors are instead, each major has a different symbol. I do like how the little guidebook's kind of set up. That's the little guidebook. Because they have the titles on the side, and I don't know why, I just kind of like it like this. Don't know why, but they have the titles on the side with what kind of flower they are. So for instance, if I just wanted to quickly look up what kind of flower, I don't know, it just is kind of easy if I wanted to look up, oh, is this flower that I like in this deck, and just kind of flip through. So there was a couple flowers that I really like that I just wanted to see if they were in here. Like buttercups. Lily the Valley's my favorite flower. But I also really like buttercups because yes, gear. I also really like sunflowers, which of course are the sun. I'm trying to remember what other flowers I was looking for lavender too, and lavender is actually not in this deck. There is no lavender card. which I was a little bit surprised about. Forget Me Nots, those also make me think of Merlin. I laugh like that because it's one of the things, like, talk about how emotions you get watching Merlin, and it's just like, me just makes like a face like, oh, I don't know if I could get words out, for how I feel. So I just kind of go into, that's how my brain just processes it. But yeah, so this is the Botanica Oracle. These are the backs, which are also gilded. And I made this bag for it. I wasn't probably gonna make a bag for this, but like, I'm trying to remember. When did it happen? Was it how the cards were put in? I think it's because how tightly the cards were put on, that like the box on the inside got like bent, me just trying to get the cards out, which they were wrapped in plastic, out of the box. It's so snug that the box ever so slightly bent, and so now the cards don't properly go in it without like bending themselves. So I had to make a bag for it. But that's okay, because I have multiple different ones that are sunflower fabric. I had this fabric on hand that I hadn't used yet, and it is the perfect match. The perfect match. So it ended up working out fine. So yeah, I did the interview, I wrote my thoughts about it, I came up with a couple pairs, and this is where I said, if you hadn't seen the other video I'd done, that I have like a future thoughts kind of thing, where I can go back and jot down some ideas after I've used the deck in the future and all that kind of jazz. Okay, so another deck I got, because it was marked down, so I've been meaning to get the Dark Crystal Tarot, like, before it came out. My mom got it, but I kind of kept holding off because I wasn't really reading tarot very much at the time. So I kind of was telling myself, don't get any decks. Just read with the decks you have, and then when you get back into the spring of tarot reading, you could go crazy again. I also, I have an expensive hobby. I mean, one of them's over here, so Anita's over here. So instead of spending money on tarot, I was spending money on some ball-jointed dolls. But yeah, I finally got the Dark Crystal Tarot, which, Avi for the card to represent the deck. Is this the one I got to that the deck feels like it is for the reading? No. But Hup is my boy. Hup's my boy. I had to put the card with Hup for the journaling page. I know with this box, Mom never noticed it when she got it, but like, that's so neat. Yeah, I grew up watching The Dark Crystal a lot. It was one of my brother's favorite films. So we watched it all the time, and I also did really like The Dark Crystal too. Avi not as much as him. Like, I feel like if I had to sum up my brother's favorite movies when he was a kid, it would be The Dark Crystal, James and the Giant Peach. He also really liked A Black Cauldron. He also really liked this one animated film that's not Disney, and I do not remember what it's called. I know it when I look at it, but I can't remember what it's called. And also, I always think it's funny how he also really liked Castaway as a small kid. And he liked the plot. He really liked the plot, so we watched Castaway a lot growing up too. Then obviously we watched a ton of Interview with the Vampire, like, all the time growing up, and so I mean, we're still doing that to this day. We watch the show. The show is so good. But yeah, so this is the Dark Crystal Tarot. I did edge my copy. This is not really picking up the color very well. The color is pretty much a very close match to this, so it looks a little bit more green here, which I've noticed that's a thing with my camera, because it's not this. When I tried filming a painting video, I noticed that it was a little bit on the cool side, and I have no idea how I could maybe adjust the settings if I can. Because I took the cloth off to see if maybe the cloth, because this is green, was doing it, and it was not that. That's not what's giving it a more cool tone, because this definitely looks more warmer in real life. but yeah. So this is a pip deck, and I do not mind at all. I feel like it really fits kind of like the look. And also the feel of the dark crystal as well. Yeah. I have too many decks, so I can't like flip through them all really slow, absolutely perfectly, because we'd be here all day. I did think it might be kind of neat to maybe do a collection video series. Kind of just getting back to getting back to TarotTube. I felt like that'd be a good time to do like a collection kind of series. Either that or like an end of the year going into the new year kind of thing would be the other time I'd probably do it. It's just I don't know how many decks I have exactly, because the the thing that I was using to keep track of all my decks, I haven't updated it with all my decks I've gotten since I gotten back into tarot. And the couple I did pick up, there was a couple I'd picked up when I wasn't reading that much, like ones on Kickstarters, like the Winnie the Pooh tarot. So some of them aren't listed, but I do know that I have over 200. I just don't know what the exact number is anymore. But I do have over 200 Tarot, Oracle, and Lenormand decks all put together. So obviously it would take a couple videos to do that, so it's something I'm considering. I just don't know. Do I want to go by where I have them on the shelves? Like, do I want to try to categorize them even further? Because I do kind of categorize them by kind of like their feel, essentially. When it comes to my shelves, like I have all my Halloweeny kind of decks together. My animal decks are all together. My botanical decks are kind of with my more witchy-like decks. All my decks that are based on stories and myths and stuff, those all have their own separate section. All my James R.E. decks have their own shelf because I have multiple copies of his decks. When a new version comes out, I get it. My mom does the same thing. We kind of just collect his decks. So do I have like multiple editions of the Prismavisions? Yes, I do. So that whole shelf is just James R.E.'s. So I just don't know how I want to go about it. So Terror of the Hidden Realm was not a new deck. When I had gotten it, I didn't really use it very much. I always had really wanted to get it, and then I finally got it. And I also was thinking it'd be a seasonal deck, but the completely wrong season that it seems to actually be. But I wasn't, I was getting good readings, and I was feeling it, but I wasn't like, whoa, so pulling it out for summer, I've realized it's very much more of a summery kind of deck for me, and I just kept wanting to just to pick it up and shuffle. So that's why I decided to do like a new interview with it, some new thoughts, new pairs, basically make a new page for it. And I also edged it, and I made a bag for it finally after all this time. So I made this really nice brown, which is pretty similar, a little bit more reddish than the borders on the bottom. But yeah, this is a very, very pretty deck. I kind of want to get the other deck, the Witch Sisters. I haven't yet, because there's some other decks I've been wanting to get. And then also, like, even now as I'm flipping through, I'm like, I want to sit here and shuffle it. And that's the bag I made for it. I like the books Llewellyn's decks come with. I really don't like those big boxes, though. They take up so much space, especially with how my shelves are, which are corner shelves. So I get a big box like that, I make a bag for it. And I was very behind on making bags, so that was another thing I did in... Was that July? Yeah, I think it was earlier in July. I don't think it was June. I think it was earlier in July. I sat in my sewing room, which is where I'm at now, my sewing/doll room, and I made so many tarot bags for decks that needed tarot bags. I was making, there was one day I made 5, and then, I think the next day I made, 6. Then, like, a couple days later, I made, like, another 5. Like, I just really needed to catch up making tarot bags for, and that included, because I had a couple sales, too, at the time. So I had to make some bags for some sales, too. Because for the deck I make, I sell, I do make the bags, on order. Bags only take me, like, what, at absolute most, half an hour. I'd say it's closer to, like, 20-something minutes. Just to sit down and kind of make a bag. Not speeding it, just kind of chillaxing with some music on, so. So the next part in my journal, I finally had a reason to use these stickers. This was a tag I saw going around, and I still haven't finished it, and I hadn't planned on making, like, a video for it or anything. I just thought I thought the tag was fun, so I wanted to journal about it. It's the hashtag tarot through movie genres. I just haven't sat down, because another thing that I did, in July was I have to put some of my decks away, because they're a little scattered. I had finally reorganized, only for them to get kind of scattered again, because I got a new bookshelf. So the bookshelf has my manga on it. And then it has, like, my favorite tarot decks. So I had to pick what decks I wanted on this shelf, and so I've got some decks to put away. I haven't put them away yet, because I have another shelf that's over at my Nana's house next door, and basically I'm trading couches with her. I don't like my couch that I've had. It eats things. The cushions like to come out, like, as you're sitting on it, from, like, any pressure, and I like to, journal. I like to just have stuff sitting on my couch, so it, like, eats things. It eats pens. I've had it eat whole bottles of pop, like, multiple bottles of pop. Like, it just eats things. And the one she has, she's able to take apart, so it's gonna be a love seat. So I'll have a love seat instead of a couch, and that gives me even more space. I can have another bookshelf there, and I can even have an end table now in the living room, so I haven't put the decks away yet, because I'm going to put some decks on that shelf as well. I just don't know which decks yet, so I figured maybe when I'm doing that, I'll sit down and finish doing this. These are the ones that I had off the top of my head, and then I figured I'd do that. It's just a fun journaling thing. I've had these stickers for a couple years now. They're from a Patreon that I'm a part of. Obviously, they're stickers that are inspired by the Mummy. It was Arlisha Yetzer, I think's her last name. Arla Bean, I know's her handle on stuff. It was from her Patreon. I got these Mummy stickers. And I've been holding on to them for, like, the perfect moment. And then I was like, finally, I have the perfect moment to use some Mummy stickers. Then for this is a tag that I thought would be really fun to do. I haven't sat down and worked on making it, but I don't care if I absolutely do it right this second. It also is going to be a longer tag. There's 21, because I didn't include the limited jobs. I just thought it'd be fun to have, like, a Final Fantasy, like, tarot tag where, like, I have kind of like a prompt / question kind of thing for each of the Final Fantasy 14 jobs. I had a couple, like, ideas off the top of my head, so this is a tag that I might end up doing as a video, like, down the road. Okay, so the next page, this is because I got another new deck. This one, I, again, don't remember what video I saw it in. I saw someone with the Goblins and Gardens Tarot. And no one that I was really watching during the time I wasn't doing tarot as much has this deck, so I didn't see it. And it's so cute, and it's right up my alley. So this is a, like, old D&D books, and also, like, botanical kind of, like, books and stuff, collage deck. It's basically, like, what happens after the DM and the players are all gone, and I just think it's so darn cute, and what I was using to read for it. I also got a pin for the devil, which was really nice. What I've done for reading with it so far has been really good. I think it's really interesting. I know the Lovers card. I'm always picky about the Lovers card index. And I was very, very curious because of how the Lovers is depicted here. I don't know if I'd be able to find it off really quick, so I'll just read out the book. But when I was reading out the little guidebook for it, I just, one of the things with this deck is when I saw it, we were actually getting close to the season 1 of Delicious in Dungeon ending, which I do have. I'm excited for season 2. I have all the manga and I've read all of it. Season 2 is gonna be so good. I was watching it every week with my Nana. I could not wait till I'd go over each week to see her to watch it, so I actually watched every single episode twice. So I've already seen season 1 twice. But she also really liked it. She watches anime with me. Right now we're watching Hannibal. Which, I mean, I've obviously already... I'm on Tumblr. Of course I've watched Hannibal. A couple of times. But we needed a new show, and I was like, Nana, we should watch this, and she was like, no, and I'm trying to get her. I was telling my brother, and he's like, you should just trick her and throw it on, because I think she'd like it, and I was gonna do that, but Avi, it's not that hard to figure out that you're watching Hannibal, and I was like, but my brother even thinks you'd like it, so she's like, okay, we'll watch it, and we've been, like, binging it as I go over each week. This happened a couple weeks ago. We're gonna finish up season 1 when I go over, early. I think I'm probably gonna go over Wednesday. We'll finish up season 1 and start going into season 2. But she really likes it. It's funny because, like, each time she sees Hannibal cooking, she goes, ew, that's gross. But she's also, like, really likes it. It's not as gross. Like, she watched The Walking Dead as it was airing. Like, I was like, I knew you could, like, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Like, you'll like it. You could see the Murder Husbands now. An iconic ship. But anyway, I got off track. Yeah, so we were watching Delicious in Dungeon, and when I was reading The Lovers, I started, like, all of a sudden, like, Senshi's voice went into my brain. Because what it says for The Lovers is, behold the plurality of love. Beware the biblical binaries. Physical and emotional healing cannot happen without a genuine and loving relationship with nature. Don't wait around until you find yourself muttering, I got so full, I forgot we're edible. Instead, ask yourself, what do apples think of all our divisions of nature we've cooked up in our books? We all contain seeds. We all need nature. And I don't know why, it was making me think of Senshi. But yeah, this is the Goblins and Gardens Tarot. I actually have it already on my favorite shelf. I have it in front of my Delicious in Dungeon manga, which is a little bit barren just because I finished reading it. My Nana is reading manga. She's slower than me, though, Avi. She's just a slower reader. And so I kind of was like, well, instead of me just giving you each volume as you finish it, you could just kind of have the volumes that you need to read over there. So I just have them sitting over at her house till she gets through them. So, because she also has to read the next volume of A Sign of Affection that recently came out. I'm still kind of reading it though, so I'm almost done with it. I'll be stressing because I had stuff to write. So here's the page where I was journaling about my Inquisitor Bellavana. So, yeah. Not really much to say about there. I made a video where I was journaling, so you can go watch that. Okay, so these are 2 other decks that I got. Let me see. Okay. I'll do the Good Fortune Tarot first. Whoop. Go. And I thought this fabric for this bag worked really well. Because again, I don't like the big boxes, so it needed a bag. So it got a bag. And I also edged it in this kind of yellowy kind of color. It pretty matches really closely with this, so. I didn't get it immediately when it came out, but I wanted to. But then when I was seeing, like, flip-throughs and stuff, and, like, I was like, no. I need to get, like, the Four of Pentacles. I really like that. This card I ended up picking as the one for the page, because I don't know why, the figure just makes me think of Merlin, if Merlin wasn't wearing his signature colors. Yeah, this deck's had really, really good readings. I actually did a reading for my mom, and it was really good. It was just a general reading, and it was like my first time reading with the deck, and it had a really good reading, so. If anything, I need to read through the book. I think it's really cute how it's set up, and I did read a couple pages, for certain cards being pulled to, you know, get some of that book in, you know? You get a big book, you gotta enjoy the book, right? And I did read, because again, I'm picky with the Lovers. Like, if I get a book like this, I gotta check out the Lovers. And I thought the art was really nice. I don't like the write-up for the Lovers. I'm just completely ignoring it. This whole idea, like, where the choice has already been made, and it's like, yes, love is love, yes, is love here to stay, is it coming, you know, yes, it's already here, and I'm just like, love sounds awful, why are you doing? No, like, like, I don't like Lovers cards that focus on love, because how am I supposed to relate to that? I don't relate to that. This idea of, like, choosing a partner and stuff, like, sounds awful. I don't want anything to do with that. So the Lovers card, I very much read it as a choice card. So reading, like, this bit where it's like, you know, like, oh, the choice has already kind of been made in this one, this is after it, you know, I was like, I'm gonna ignore that. And I can do that, because I bought this deck. It's my copy now. If I want to ignore how this is, you know, I could think maybe more so how, still focusing on the choice. Maybe, like, yeah, they made the choice, but, like, because of this, you know. But yeah, I'm still reading his choice. That's just how I have to roll. I don't relate to any of that romance love stuff. So I'm very picky with my Lovers cards. Most Lovers cards, I expect them to look like that. So it's probably one of my favorite tarot cards, but it's usually not my favorite tarot card in most decks. So, like, the fact that the Lobanco Tarot has my favorite Lovers, not counting my own deck, in it, and I think most people don't really, it's, the image, because I don't have the deck on me at the moment, it's on my favorite shelf, it depicts how you can either view it as someone eating themselves or two people eating each other, and oh man, now it's so good. It's so good now. That's beautiful for the Lovers. It works so well, and also it vibes with how I view all of it too, you know. So speaking of people eating each other, I know something like that's happening in this deck. I went up to Cleveland Curiosities with my mom and my brother. And there's also a metaphysical store just down the road as well, so we went there too. I didn't see anything at the Cleveland Curiosities that I wanted this time. We don't live in Cleveland. We live like an hour away from Cleveland, so, you know, it's a little drive up, so we don't go there all the time. My brother goes to Cleveland more than us, so he visits more than we do. So it's like a trip for me and my mom. So we went to the metaphysical store, and I just told my mom yesterday about putting this deck on my wish list, and they had it at the store. So I was like, shoot, I was going to wait to buy it, but maybe I should just go ahead and get it. This is the Magicians, Martyrs, and Madmen Tarot. I just kind of thought it'd be neat to draw a card and kind of read up the prompt, and if I wanted to, I don't know, like, I don't know what I want to throw on to watch. I could see if anyone has any really good YouTube videos or something talking about the figures in these cards. Yes, Charlie? Why are you meowing? Yeah, I thought that'd be a neat thing to do. And this one, I didn't like how bulky the box was, so I made a bag for this one as well. So many bags are made in July. Okay. I know this one I still have to find some deck pairings from. I got it towards... Was it towards the end of July? It was towards the end of July that I got this deck. And at that point, I was really vibing with the Good Fortune Tarot. I was really vibing, which I gotta put away. I just set it up here. And I was also really vibing with, the Tarot of the Hidden Realm, as I said, so this one got a little bit neglected, but again, like, I had those intentions with it, so, it's gonna get used. So at this point, I accidentally, when I went to cut a page for this, I accidentally cut 2. So at this point, I now just needed to have things for the pages, and I just realized I didn't make my wrap-up page. What is wrong with me? Okay, I will do that at some other point. My wrap-up page is literally just, I'm just going to decorate it like this, and then just write up basically the kind of stuff that I'm saying in this video, so you don't need to see that. I forgot it, though. But yeah, so I accidentally printed off a whole extra page, and I'm like, oh no, what am I to do? So I know this was a tag that was going around, I think last year, maybe? It was either last year or the year before for the only 10 indie decks. So I was like, yeah, I could do that really easy. And that was really easy. The only 10 mass market, though, that's really hard. And I cannot do that without actually sitting there taking my time. This, though, like, it was very easy for me to pick out 10 indie decks. My deck, the Blood Moon Tarot is an absolute favorite. The Lubanco Tarot, Numenos Tarot, Ionassiaos, Prisma Visions, Oak Ash and Thorn, Anima Mundi, True Black Tarot, Journey Tarot. It was very easy. I've already filled up my wish list, so then I made another wish list page. And then I have a page where I figured I could write video ideas down. So, yeah. And then little preview of how the next month's set up. Wow, can you believe it? There's Merlin. But at least he's with Arthur. Yeah, there's gonna be so much Merlin just as the centerpiece picture for my months, because you could pry me putting Merlin and stuff for my cold dead hands. So yeah, I will go ahead and put my tarot journal to the side. There are still a couple other decks to talk about that I didn't make pages for, and that's because they're Oracle decks. So I got the Seasons of the Witch Lammas Oracle. I have the Samhain and the, I think I have the Samhain. Do I have the Samhain? Yeah, no. I don't think so, Charlie, you're right. Yeah, I don't have the Samhain deck. I have the Yule one, though. The Samhain one I had been meant to get, and then Yule came out, so I got the Yule one. And then the very next one, whichever deck came out third, I don't remember what Sabbath that was for. There was a card in it that, the thing with me is I don't actually like taking out Oracle and Tarot cards out of decks. I feel like they need to be in it. So if I see a card I really cannot vibe with, that does kind of ruin the deck for me. I think the only deck that I have... Dandy, don't claw the hamper. Oi, boy. Yeah, you don't need to. You don't need to. What you doing? Really? Uh-huh. You're so cute. The only deck that I have actually done that with is the Gentle Tarot. The extra card in the Gentle Tarot, obviously because it's an extra card, I gotta go by the guidebook and, see what the guidebook says this card means. I can't jive with that card at all. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head. That is the only deck I have because I like the whole rest of the deck. And because it is a extra card, a bonus, unlike an Oracle where they're not bonuses, that's just the deck, I felt like I could take that one out. But I stopped getting Seasons of the Witch ones. My mom has all the ones coming out that have come out. But I stopped getting them. What happened was she ordered the Lammas one. Yeah, she did, Charlie. Yeah, she did. And then she also ordered another Oracle deck, which I also had on my wish list. But yeah, she got sent this one twice. And so she had an extra copy. You could send it back, get the other one. But instead she asked me, hey, do you want this deck? I could see if you or your brother want the deck, and I'll just order the other one again if you guys want it. And I was like, sure. I could take this. It actually, I feel like, will vibe with some of the decks I'm using right now. So, yeah, that I can do that. So I ended up taking the copy, and then the Oracle deck that she then had to repurchase, because Books A Million messed up the order. I was like, hey, put another one in there because I actually was gonna buy that soon, and you could just order 2, and I'll we'll do it that way. So my mom gave me this deck because I'm a mix-up. But there are no cards I do not vibe with, and it's a beautiful deck, so it's very, very fitting, and it worked really well with the tarot decks that I was using last month. And do I have this one out? I don't remember. Do I have this one out on my with my current decks? Or do I have to put this back? I don't remember. I'm probably just gonna put it with my other Oracle decks for the month. I keep my decks that I've picked out for the month separate. It's just the system that I'm kind of doing nowadays with my decks. So then the one that she was meant to get, which then I was like, hey, go ahead and get the other copy because I've been meaning to, is the Everyday Witches Familiars Oracle. The only one I don't have now is the Everyday Witches Oracle. So it's so cute. It's so pretty. And this also vibes really well with some of the decks that I had out. And I'm also using this deck this month too. Dragon. Yeah, dragons. I do like me some dragons. And I like foxes a lot too. Yeah, this is a very, very pretty deck. I know Rabbit was one of the 2 cards that were part of my monthly reading for this month. So, yeah, there is that Oracle. And then the last Oracle, I have the deck in a bag because it's in a tuck box and I didn't want to get it, messed up. So I made a bag for it. So it was the very next day. Was it the next day? I think it was the very next day. Yeah. Might have been the next day. I then went to Pittsburgh. You see, the thing is there was a Final Fantasy XIV collab, so I had to go buy some boba tea from a very specific line of boba tea, and the closest one, the only one remotely close to us, was then in Pittsburgh, which is over an hour away. So I asked my brother, I'm like, hey, you want to go to Pittsburgh to get some boba tea? And he's like, sure, where in Pittsburgh? And it turns out it's actually only like a 5-minute drive away from another No, it was in a curiosity shop. A curiosity shop, and then there's also an antique store across the street that my brother's been to that he really liked. So at the curiosity shop, they had this indie deck, which is a local deck. It's from Pittsburgh. It's the Cosmic Butchers Walk Through the Eternal Gardens, Oracle Lenormand, by Markel Madorum. I'm really bad with names, so I hope that sounded okay. But yeah, they had a copy of it out, and I thought it was like really pretty, and I was like, ooh, I gotta look around the rest of the shop, but I think I'm gonna buy that. Don't scratch the windows, Charlie. You don't need to scratch my windows. No, you don't. Thank you for getting down. Oh no, now she's like, well, now I gotta come over and bug you. You don't need to bug me. So this is a Oracle and Lenormand deck. They are separated, as you can see, the Lenormand. I always say both ways of pronouncing Lenormand. Hi, Charlie. It has a different color, and it also says L with the number. So, when I get back into reading with some and learning Lenormand some more, I definitely want to have it be this deck. Does this deck have multiple people cards? No, because there are no people cards. Instead of the people, it is music, and it is a mask, which also gives me such Phantom of the Opera vibes. But I'm like, yo, that works so well, because one, I could see it as a different meaning instead of having it be like one, pick whichever one I want as a significator. I could read the other as something else. Or I could use, essentially, like, it's just, Lenormand could be a little different when it comes to being non-binary and also aromantic. So the other person card always has to be someone else. And it doesn't make sense for it to be gendered either, because it's just someone else that has to be involved with whatever cards are surrounding it. So if, like, it could be someone at work, it could be a family member, it's not going to be a significant other, because that ain't going to happen. And then again, the person card, like, I'm fine with the cards that are for, like, the man, but, like, I'd prefer it just being non-binary, or just genderless. So this having 2 cards that are just a mask and music in place of man and woman, just chef's kiss. I really like that. But yeah, it looks really pretty too. I don't want it to get it mixed up, because I haven't shuffled this yet, because I haven't used it yet. I have shuffled the Oracle, though. And the meanings for the Oracle, I did see some of them are still being written, but they are on the website. So I have them, I took screenshots and I have them saved on my phone for easy access. That's a little bit of the... And I'm using them as 2 separate decks. I cannot, like, mush them together into one whole deck. Those are the backs, by the way. There's also a playlist, and I'm like, yeah, good playlist, good playlist. Here, maybe I can get one a little closer so you can see the collage a little bit better. This just wants to glare. I have, like, lots of light on, including the overhead light, because I wanted to film this a couple hours earlier before the sun went down. But I got distracted, because when it comes to playing video games, I always want my characters to look good. So I kind of got really distracted creating a new outfit for my monk in World of Warcraft. And then I was like, shoot, the sun's gone down. I guess I'm going to have some glare. R.I.P. me. Yeah, this is a really pretty deck. So yeah, that's all the decks then that I got. Okay, I got 2 more other things I thought I'd share. This wrap-up's way longer than I thought it was going to be, but I guess to be fair, I got multiple decks. I'm back into reading, so I'm going to get multiple decks. I've already gotten some decks for this month, too. So I know another thing, I got these dice. These are from Sage's Portal. The thing is I have... Obviously, there's Witcher dice. So I have 1 set for Geralt. I got 1 set for Yennefer. I got one of the Dandelion sets. I don't have one of the, like, official series sets. At the time, before I got those ones, they had a custom dice set that you could do, like a Kickstarter. So my series dice, and because it's, like, series, like, for the School of Cat, that's the medallion she wears. So I consider that my series set, so I don't have any of the other official series ones, but I got those. Then I also have, I just realized that 10 looks weird. You know what, that's fine. Sometimes mistakes make things cooler. But, what was I saying? Oh yeah, and then I have a, Dreadwolf set from, Dragon Age. So Solus Venharel. So, Avi, I wanted a dice set to kind of go with my favorite character, and also a dice set that would go really well with pairing it and using it with my tarot deck and an official Merlin tarot. So I was looking up dice that are kind of like blue and red, and I saw these from Sage's Portal, which have this like bronze in it too. And I was like, oh my goodness, it's perfect! Out of the blue-red dice I was seeing, this was my absolute favorite. And the bronze really works too well, because when someone uses magic in Merlin, the eyes grow either like a gold or an orangey kind of color. It kind of depends on like the season and the episode and, like the lighting. So these were just absolutely perfect, and I think these are so pretty. So I'm like, ooh, my new dice. The D4 is very sharp. It's a very sharp D4. Oh, and then I also have like a Starion dice too, which I played. I think with shipping, that might be the most I've spent on dice. I have this really pretty pair of blue lace agate that I have. which I think is the other one it's kind of sort of tied with, but I think it was a little over with the shipping. Which I also saw that store actually now has some Gale ones up at the moment. So that's kind of cool. It is tempting if I had extra money because I do think they're pretty, but the thing is Gale is not a favorite character. Had it been maybe Karlach and maybe even Will, I feel like I would have been tempted more. But Gale's fine. I feel like you would think he'd probably be like up my alley in characters that I like, with the kind of characters I like, but I just think he's cool. He's fine. I don't think I really dislike any of the companions. I think in Baldur's Gate 3, Lae'zel took me a bit to get used to. Not because she's a bad character, it's just not really the kind of characters I usually jive with. And then I've never destroyed the Grove, so I have no opinion on her. And then Halsin, I thought I was really gonna like him, and I kind of don't. So, if anything, I was just a little disappointed that I ended up not liking him as much as I thought I was going to, kind of getting into the game. So, and as the story went after beta, because I did play some during beta. Yeah, Karlach's my girl though, and I do really like Will a lot too. So, and I do also really like Shadow. See, Shadowheart would also be tempting because I do really like Shadowheart. Baldur's Gate 3 has some really great characters. If anything, I think my only complaint when it comes to the characters is I would really like more party banter, because they do banter amongst each other, but there's long periods in the game, not really much in Act 1. I feel like it's more in Act 2 and Act 3 where it doesn't seem like they're talking. And I don't know, I feel like the banter between them and them interacting amongst each other, I feel like, and I think I have seen some other people comment that they thought Dragon Age, that series, kind of does it a little bit better with how spaced out it is, how like their banter is interacting with like different quests and stuff. Like, if anything, like, that'd be my only complaint, I think. Really. if I had to pick something. Of course, Dragon Age is also my favorite game series, so Baldur's Gate 3 is like up there now as one of my favorite games, but so is the Dragon Age games. They're all great. So I know if you've played Baldur's Gate 3, try out the Dragon Age series. It's awesome. Or even just, Divinity Original Sin 2, which is another Lorien Studios game, which is also a really good game. There's a very good-looking skeleton man in that game. Yes, I see a skull and I go, that's a good-looking guy right there. Ooh, I can romance him. So, yeah. Not all my romances are weird. I mean, hell, as I said, I romance Alistair. He's one of my favorite Dragon Age romances. From the second game, like, I really like Fenris. Isabella's gorgeous. And then I really like all the Dragon Age Inquisition characters. If I had to pick a least favorite out of the romances, maybe Ironbull, because it's just not really the kind of thing I go for, but I like his character. My tops would be Solus, Colin, Josephine, Dorian would be my top half of favorite ones. Okay, one more thing I wanted to talk about before I ended the video, and that is that I finally started working on the Oracle deck that I am making. So, I did do some paintings, and if you hadn't seen, like, the posts for them, like on my Instagram and Tumblr, then, you haven't seen them. I've been meaning to. I filmed me painting one of them. It is very long, though, and I'd have to sit down and edit it. I'm thinking I may do that as a task tomorrow. Yeah, I painted 2 of them during July. But at the same time, because we're already partway in, I may just show them again. As you see, there's just a drawing of Solus that I mean to paint. I may show them again and just show all the ones now. So, for the 2 I did in July, this one's for the card Truth. I'm making an Oracle deck to go with my Merlin Tarot deck. Which here, you can see this paper's white. You can see how the camera's been treating me. I don't know how to fix that. I'm not techie. I know how to mod my video games, and that is it. And it's installing mods, not making mods. Just... yes. Was I able to mod Baldur's Gate 3? Yes. Do I? No. I actually don't like modding Baldur's Gate 3. Do I know how to mod The Sims? Yes. And I don't do too many mods when it comes to The Sims. Which The Sims, that is just, you just drag it and drop it is the easiest thing. And I have played modded Skyrim a lot, so... Currently, I've been playing unmodded Skyrim. I know, shocking. Unmodded Skyrim? What is wrong with me? But, so then this one's the other one that I did in July, so this is for Risk. This one I spent almost 5 hours on, not counting the drawing part. I really like how it came out. I might try to see if I can get a little bit more detail in. Looks about the same. So this one is for transformation. I had a different idea for, this was going to be my mischief card, but then I had another idea for mischief, and so I thought this would work for transformation. And I feel like the thing with this card is like, yeah, like, change and transforming into a better person is a good thing. Sometimes you gotta ask yourself, though, are you still an ass? You know, are you still kind of an ass, though? Maybe you should work on that. Those are donkey ears, if you haven't watched the episode, and you can't, like, tell right off the bat, so... and then the one that I recently did, the other day, then, was this one is for choice. And this is the same scene that I have for my lover's card in the deck, because gosh darn it, that scene gives me emotions. I had to have it in the tarot and the oracle. Though instead of having it be focused on Merlin and Arthur's relationship and choice when it comes to that, I'm more so focusing on just Merlin making the choice for the oracle card. And then you can see I have a circle, and I have the washi tape ready for my next one, which will be, Sacrifice will be the next card I'm going to be doing. So yeah, those last couple, I'll probably, like, re-show them again in next month's video, but this video is already way too long. I didn't realize how much I was going to have. So now I have less time to draw and paint. I really wanted to get a painting done, but now I'm thinking I might not get a painting done. It's going to depend on how late I want to stay up. But anyway, if you watched all of this, thanks. Thanks, this is very long, so I'd understand if you did not. I'm thinking maybe if I remind myself, maybe I'll put some timestamps or something, in the thing, so you could kind of, if you just wanted to look at the art, if you just wanted to, I don't know. But yeah, anyway, again, like, thank you for watching. I hope you have a good day, good night, good evening, whatever time it is where you're at, and yeah, bye-bye.